Before we go to commercial, I'm going to ask you guys, and you have to give me a yes or no. I'm going to leave it right till the end. For the Hall of Fame, one particular player, I'm not going to tell you what sport, but you have to give me a definitive yes or no before we go to commercial. We'll save it for a little bit, 6 minutes from now.
Okay, you have a player in mind? You're going to name him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not Phillip Rivers, is it? Because we just gave the answer.
No, it's not. It's a different sport.
Well, why don't we just get to it now? Because we've got Charlie Weiss coming up in 10 minutes. We could do this. Is it going to lead to a legitimate
You tell
debate?
me right now, both of you, is Patrick Marleau a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Nope.
Huh. I'm a no guy. I just think he's what you call an accumulator. Guy that's been around for so long, he's just got points.
Well,
lots of them.
He's got a lot of points.
At some point, if you get enough of them, like Dave Andreychuk, I know he had 250-goal seasons, but he's an accumulator. Dino Cicerelli is an accumulator. But when
there's the point, Johnny. If those guys are getting in, why isn't Patrick Marleau? That's the argument.
I don't, because he never had 50. And for a long time, he wasn't the best player on his team. He's just really good for really long, but never great. And I don't think he was great enough, long enough, even though he played for a long time. So I'm saying no. I think he's just a really good player who played for a long, long time.
Yeah, let me clarify that if it was my Hall of Fame and I were the one that was allowed to
here we go.
No,
here we go.
I wouldn't have Mark Recchi in. I wouldn't have Dave Andreychuk in. I wouldn't have Cicerelli in. I wouldn't put in guys who retired 25 years ago and all of a sudden are getting in. I wouldn't personally do that. I would hold it to the highest standard.
Kevin Lowe's not getting in?
Kevin Lowe's not getting in. With all due respect, all very good players. Doug Wilson, right? Very, very good players. Not that they need my, ratification of their career. Great, great players. But for me, not Hall of Famers. I would put Marleau in that category. But if all of them are in based on the standards of the current Hall of Fame, I think Marleau gets in too, because he's going to end up with the most games played all time. That is a massive stat.
It's going to be similar to Mark Recchi type numbers, wouldn't you think?
Right, but Recchi's got cups.
Rex had like 100-point season, 120-point seasons.
Marleau played the dead puck era. He put up some numbers too. He was also on the 2010 Olympics and 2014 Olympics. That is significant. But that's really significant. Like those are the two of the top 6 or 7 teams ever put together, and he was on both. So those count, and international hockey counts, and Marleau's got them. So that would be why I think he'll get in. I don't know if he's a first ballot guy, but I think eventually in 15 years, Patrick Marleau will be in the Hall of Fame.
Hayes, you touched on this when I was off, I believe. He is going to break a record that really, I don't know how many people want to see that broken. Like Gordie Howe, Mr. Hockey? Who wants to see that record broken?
Nobody. Outside the Marleau family. With all due respect to Patrick Marleau, no one wants to see that taken away from Mr. Hockey. Like, that is such a cherished – it's Gordie Howe. He played until he was in his 50s. Mm-hmm. Of course he owns it. And now Marleau's going to cruise by. He's going to beat him. He's going to pay. I think Marleau will play another year if he has to do it.
No way. I think he gets his 45 games. As soon as he breaks that record, he literally throws his skates in San Jose and he's done. Like, I think that's it. I don't think Babcock was getting torched for his comment, about breaking Gordie Howe's record, but I think he was right. I think that's what he wants to do. He is going to break that.
But if he doesn't get it, if they play 48 games and he happens to pull his groin and miss 4 of them, I bet I'm with Hayes. I think he comes back until he gets it. He's come this far. And San Jose will give it to him. They'll sign him to a contract knowing he'll walk after 10 games.
Well, he's gone this far. If he gets hurt or something, don't you think he'll just stand on the bench and put his skate on the ice and get games played?
Yeah.
I think that's how badly this guy wants that.
Which you again, based on the nature of sport and the integrity of the game, you would hope that doesn't. Yeah, it shouldn't be allowed.
No.
But he can still play. Like, he was traded for at the deadline. Pittsburgh acquired him because they thought they could help. He could help. I do believe he can give you 4th-line minutes, 7-8 games, or 7-8 minutes a night, and go out there and just go up and down the wing and chip in every once in a while. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be overly productive, but he can do that. But if it gets to a point where it's like this guy's being wheeled out to take the opening faceoff so he's on the game sheet, then the league should step in on that and say, you can't do this. They can do
whatever they want. No, they can't.
The
organization wants to do it. The league can't start stepping in and saying who should play.
Since
who should
when?
not
They
play.
stepped in to say that John Scott couldn't go to the All-Star game. Or they can do whatever they want. It's their league.
That was a league run event, and he ended up going.
You're telling me if Patrick Marleau, it's embarrassing that he's can't play, but they're just putting him out there to break a record, that the league should allow that to happen?
It will never get to that point, though. That'd be like putting me on the ice right now. Like, he'll never get to the point where it's that embarrassing. And it's funny, all about perspective, right? Like, he scored last year 11 goals. I think Dominic Cahoon scored 11 goals, and people in Edmonton are freaking out over this guy that he's signed and how great he's going to be for their top six.
Right.
Marleau scored 11 as well, and he's an afterthought. I mean, he can still skate well enough. That'll never be the case. But Hayes, just like 140-goal season, 2 seasons in 20 years where he had more than a point a game.
It's not the best rap sheet. I hear you, man.
He's got like averaging 0.6, 0.7 points per game. That's like a 55-point pace over 20 years.
Yeah, it's not numbers that jump off the page.
It's incredible. The 20-year part is incredible, and the 1,600 game part is incredible. But yeah, and he's Olympics and everything else. But that's a good question. No, that's going to be hotly contested, just because at some point it's just playing games. That many years, like that is the stat. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter what else he does, because when you accumulate for 2 decades, I always joke that him and I and Joe Thornton were rookies the same year. And I've been retired for a decade.
Yeah,
and I played for like 12 years.
I know,
and
me too. Same thing, man.
It's just, and they're both still playing and are still decent.
Like legitimate guys that are in the lineup. Yeah, Joe Thornton is playing. He's here to play.